Hey gang, welcome to the Doggy Traders first post Ian show. We're kind of sort of set back up in the Doggy Trader studios. We've got the laptop instead of the old desktop, so we got a better camera today. Today also we've got Dr. Michael Donaldson, the interview from about 2 weeks ago. We were able to record that. We got a good quality look at that. We'll start with that and some prices right after this. So yeah, the usual risk disclaimer and everything else. So 2 weeks ago, part of our professional slash amateur trader series of interviews, we were able to get with somebody that has been helping us. Actually, we are starting his strategy later tonight. So today couldn't be a better day, really, to add Dr. Mike to to today's show. We had a good conversation with him, probably about 20 minutes of pretty decent material that we recorded because he is busy trading, he's busy being a dad, he's busy being a bunch of cool things. And I'm going to readjust my camera for a second. And so we recorded it instead of doing it live like we did all the others. And as a result, you weren't able to share any questions. So if while watching this you have a question that you want Dr. Mike to answer, because he's coming back, just put it in the comments. Remember, for the Facebook users, go to StreamYard.com/Facebook. Grant yourself permission so we know it's you. And otherwise, you can join us through YouTube or LinkedIn. So yeah, let's take a look at this interview here, and I will be right back. Actually, let's get rid of all that stuff on the top because we already have it. Get rid of that because you see it there, and you're about to see it. Up next, Dr. Michael Donaldson. We've been talking and trying to get this scheduled for a while. We've got him. He's in our green room, and we're going to hear from him next. We've got his story, his successes, and strategy. Let's bring him in. There we go. Dr. Mike, welcome to the Doggy Traders.
Hey, well, I guess we could say wake traders. Yeah,
That's
I live
you.
on the lake,
Yeah,
so I like
exactly.
the wakeboard, so we trade.
Well, and yeah, I guess I got that type of that. This is the usual uniform for in the Doggy Trader studio. So jet ski and wake and boats, everything. Yeah,
Yeah,
being out in the water.
Flip flops and t-shirts, bathing suits.
Well, in sneakers now because I went for my AM walk. But yeah, usually, even sometimes from the waist down, it's not exactly camera friendly. But welcome to the Doggy Traders. I've been telling everybody we've been trying to get you scheduled. Thanks for finally getting a schedule that matches mine and me matching yours. Welcome. I've been telling everyone that during our series of bringing in different traders to the Doggy Trader Studios, we want to show like all walks of life. And you've been a chiropractor. You started out in chiropractics. Like my grandfather was the best in town back in the day. How
Oh
many years
wow.
have you been doing that?
I started practice in '96,
Okay.
so I'm
And
about
then
20,
I
a
won't make
long
you say
time.
it. That's
Oh
all right. Yeah,
wow,
exactly.
25,
I
6,
know. I
26
know.
years. Woo.
I know. 95 is when I graduated college, and that's starting to get, approaching the number three. Uh, so, how long then trading? When did you first start getting into or being
I
interested in
actually
day
only
trading?
started a little over a year ago. I started
Awesome.
2021. Like I started dabbling and looking at it in like April, May. Decided that this is what I wanted to do and got serious about it in June and literally treated it like I was going back to school. I spent the
Right.
money, did
Yeah.
the classes, had the coaches, learned the process. Um, just because having had a chiropractic off, ooh, we just had another drop. Um, just
And
because
clearly, you're
having,
watching right now, just like everybody at
I'm,
home. Yep. Yeah.
I'm,
Absolutely.
I'm trading. I'm sorry. I'm,
That's all right. No, that's what
I
we
like
do.
to, I wick out and profit every day. Um, no, I just have, I've been a serial entrepreneur. I've had lots of businesses, been involved with lots of different companies. We started our own, what we call the energetic lifestyle. And that's what Abby and I do. We do biofeedback and nutrition and EMF protection and chiropractic and the best water, the best ketones, the best food, the best supplements. That's actually what we do. But
Okay.
when 2020 hit and 2019 hit and everybody became a coach, it was just like
Right.
social media became less conducive to influence, in my opinion, or in my style. Let's put it
Right.
that way. And between content and all that, I was just like, I need something. I don't want a product. I don't want a service. I don't want to show up. I just want something that I can do. And I discovered leverage trading. And, we met through IM and learned a bunch of stuff. And I just was like, huh, dumping my eggs in this basket. And I've got a little bit over here. But man, this now is, we joke, it's like printing money.
Right. Oh, I was in a Facebook group called the Legal Bank Robbers for a while. And yeah, I mean, I sit back and think about my own day trading career, and I thought, well, what service do I really provide to society? And I realized the only service that I provide to society is when I lose in trades because my money is going to them. And I don't
Wow.
like that. I don't. I'm gonna, start servicing me. Uh, so yeah,
That's hilarious.
you and I met right about that same time. You talked about different schools. Have you been, as you know, obviously, and I think most of my viewers now. I'm also a student at IML.
Yeah.
Have you tried anything else? Have there been any other successes? Anything you would stay away from?
Um, I met a bunch of great people there, and so what I ended up doing is I gleaned from everybody, and I created my own indicator. Because you can really get wrapped up in it, and it can be its own addiction if you're not careful.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
Been there.
it it's like playing a video game. It's like, we talk about managing greed, managing patience. I, having been in the coaching space for nearly 20 years in lifestyle coaching, personal growth is a big deal. I'll tell you, I had a whole learning curve when I actually tied cold hard cash to my attitude at the moment.
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
I'm like, I would not have considered myself an overly emotional trader or anything like that, but man, when you first start trading, you're like, you go live, you stress out over $7.30 for, which is, a cup of Starbucks right now, more than you do about throwing the one you didn't drink away. It's
Because you
like,
know that it all adds up.
it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
no. It's been interesting, and it's been a great journey, and the freedom side of it's been just amazing.
Nice.
So,
Very cool. So then, you said you had your own indicator. You when I first met you, really, I guess around the time you started, we were both doing a like a PSA, a promo for Nick,
mhm.
and you said about in August of last year, you started a new strategy. I'm assuming it's got something to do with the indicator that you've got now. But you said your goal was that by August of this year, from 21 to 2022, you wanted to make your first seven digits. Now I got a
in
smile
the
on my face
market.
because I know, yeah, correct.
In the
Eh,
market.
but
I,
but I got
I'm
a smile on my face because I know the answer to that question. But tell us how that went.
um well, if I'm being honest, I now have a new game where I want to take $500 to eight figures in the next 6 months.
Nice, nice.
So kind of say we just checked off the seven and went straight
Yeah,
for eight now. And
yeah.
as soon as eight's done, I'd like to do nine within 2 years.
Nice. Very cool. Good, good. So what type of withdrawals, and are you living off of any of this? Is it supporting a lifestyle, or are you just still like banking and rolling and exponentially growth?
All of the above.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found, and you may not even know about this, but um, and there's way that you can structure your corporate structure and what you can do. But what I found is anybody who gets started, the best thing that they can do strategy wise for making this a lifestyle is there's something that's called like social trader, trader copier, copy trader, all those different things. When you get to $30,000, create three separate accounts. And I have an expense account, which is what we live on a regular basis.
Hmm.
I have a growth account, and then I take care of my Uncle Sam. I don't
Right.
like to look at it as taxes and him taking my money and this. I'm like, he is a business partner of mine. And so you set it up so that as everything grows, your
He's an
tax account
employee
is
that you got to
taken.
pay.
He's, he's an uncle. He's been good to me. People like you that have served have made all this an option for me. So I have a separate tax account. So you can create tax account. And then because it maintains 1/3 of everything you make, you're that's just their money. You're just like
It's theirs.
paying
Yeah.
paying a partner. Your daily expenses, once you start to buy stuff and you have what you want, your expenses really change. So it then becomes mostly a growth account.
Right.
I know that was kind of a random way of
No.
answering your
Right.
question,
No, but that makes
but
sense.
but then you can actually set up a separate account for each child.
Right.
So instead of having like a college fund, um, my kids will retire the day they graduate from high school, and they'll have several $1 million in the bank.
I'm close. Yeah, I'm not quite that good, but my goal is to have my 17-year-old son, who's homeschooled, and one of his math classes is day trading. I want him to be the only six figure. He's going to be the only one walking in his homeschool class. He's the only kid I've got. But out of his graduating senior year, and when he goes back to all his friends in the other counties where he's lived and so on, he's going to be the only six figure member of that graduating class.
There you
But
go.
in his case, however, he's actually doing it. Are any of your kids actually trading yet?
Oh yeah, Skylar did 38% in 3 days the other
Awesome.
day. So yeah, no, the indicator is pretty self. It's kind of like paint by number. Color,
Nice.
it's it's when the colors line up, you make the trade. And as it starts to move, as soon as it moves, it takes you out in profit, and then you go play for the rest of the day.
Yeah, that's why
It's
we're here.
it's really about, for me, it's about the quality of life. Not to see how much I can make, because it is. I did do the, like, I over traded. I was in it too long, but I was developing an indicator, and my buddies started to make money with it before I did, and I was like, wait a second, what's going on? I mean, I made this thing, right? And they're like, it's done. And I literally had a friend that said, okay, the indicator is finished. Obey the rules, make the trade, take your money, close your trader.
Right.
And it was like,
Discipline.
oh. And what I find with people getting started initially is I thought it was greed. It's actually impatience. Oh, I just missed it. Like, no, it's going to happen again. Oh, I'm on a roll. No, it's impatience. It's like we were talking earlier, there's compounding is insane. Most people don't
Right.
realize that if you can make 5% in a day, $500 is $178 million.
Right.
My average people are doing 15 to 20% a day, and they're
Ugh.
only trading for like 2 hours, hour and a
Right.
half max. Like
I'll
I
get up
like
early for that.
I like 7 to 9. Why? There's enough volume, and kind of like the London market is trying to push and get
And when you
positioned
say 7 to
before
9, you're talking 7 a to 9 to 9 a Eastern time, or which time zone?
7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern time zone. I live in
Yeah.
Atlanta
Yep. Cool.
on the lake.
Yep.
And I just like that time frame because there's enough volume and they're pushing the market to get it. Where do we want it before New York opens? Because New York opens is an amazing time to trade. There's a lot of volume, but it's very, very wicky. And I'm more like just take my money, get out, and move on with my day.
And see, I like
Um,
that volatility too because when I first got into it, the team members that got me into trading were in like 4x, 4x, 4x. That's it. And I'm sitting there watching Bitcoin, which was a constant up and down, but that constant up and down was rhythmic. And like, guys, I think we're missing an opportunity here.
I'm not
And
a Bitcoin fan
you're
at
not,
all.
I know,
I know
but we're
we are,
still talking
but
about the same thing because you're
yeah,
talking about the same up and down that's going on the Nasdaq, and probably more
absolutely.
so, which is why you're compounding faster than I was. So I mean, I think I got to add something to the portfolio.
Yeah. So for me, the fastest way to compound is to do less. I'm really lazy. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like to work. I don't like to do. I like to go hike. I like to go to the gym. I like to go wakeboard. I like to take my kids on the boat for dinner. I like to go on vacation. We want to go to the beach. I don't really want to be tied, so I wanted something that was very, very fast, predictable, repeatable, and then go do whatever I wanted to go do. Um, and I found that if I'm like 3, 4 hours a day in front of the computer, I'm not having fun. Like I can hit 10, 20% and be done in an hour.
Nice.
And
That's a
for
good
me,
work day.
yeah. So the way that I'm set up, I hit my percentages. It goes 7.5%. 3 trades ends up at about 24. Double my money weekly, sometimes 2, 3 times a week. Just depends on the slippage. And I stick with Nasdaq because I know Nasdaq. I know the way
Yeah.
it moves.
Right.
I really like US 30, but I don't really need to take the time to learn it.
Okay.
The indicator works across all the platforms, which is great, but I'm just like, this morning I was getting up and I was like, oh, it was 7:10, and I'm like stretching and I'm trying to get, and I'm like, oh, it's ready. Click. Oh, I'm done.
Back
My
to bed.
trades,
Yeah.
my trades never last 60 seconds. I'm
I
never in the
remember you
market
saying
for a
that, yeah,
minute.
when we talked before.
I may
So,
watch it for 20 minutes, but I'm only in the market for less than a minute.
so how, and I know you have them too. How do you handle losses?
They don't bother me. My losses on a daily basis would probably stress out the average trader.
Mm,
Um, like this morning, it went down 8%. Um, and then the next thing you know, I'm up. I think I'm end of the day at 17. But losses stress people more when you have a big loss, but you don't have a way to make big gains. See, I have big gains. When the market moves $1 for me, I make 1% of my account balance.
right.
On the flip side, if I lose $20, I've lost 20%. But again, I only need 3 trades to make that back.
So one of the things to remember here, I want to make sure that I'm actually, yeah, there we go. One of the things to remember here when he's talking about losses and they don't bother him, but they can be significant, is that he's already made millions in the past year. And is that what I want to make sure that everybody understands? While that is a possibility, even with the right strategy, a likelihood, it's not the norm. And what you have to do, what I've done over the past 2 years now, is come up with my own definition of financial freedom. Do I want to make a million? Well, of course. Yeah, I'd love that. But what I'm doing with my trading right now is just simply supplementing my retirement income that I'm getting monthly from the Secret Service. After that, once I get, like I said earlier, I'm joining his team today. And, after today's show, that's the call. I'm talking to him later tonight. And I'm going to be doing the same strategy that he's doing first thing in the morning and done for, by breakfast. Your work day's over. Now, the only question is how much do you want to start it with? He talked earlier about getting to a certain point and then creating 3 separate accounts. And then what that does is you're growing your tax money that you have to pay at the end of the year or quarterly, however your business is structured. You have living expenses that when you remove from that, that's helping you live to whatever quality of life you want to establish. And then the other one is just where you're just continually trading and leveraging against that account and continually growing. He's trading, I can tell you from experience and the things I'm hearing him talk about and things he's told me off camera that I'm allowed to repeat. He's trading with 6 and 7 figure account balances in his account that he started with $500. I've had a similar success. My very first account I started in January of 2021. Traded it on like the last day of the month for the first time. First ever trade. $250. 6 weeks later, I was sitting on $30,000. Hadn't taken anything out yet. Hadn't done anything with it. I was just continual about the growth, and I had a 6-figure salary, active with the Secret Service at that time. So there was no reason for me to get out or to withdraw, to take anything out. So when he talks about a significant loss, losing 20% of his account, that's probably a quarterly or half of the year's salary for many of us. But he knows his strategy, he knows his skill, and he knows that the way he monitors the market, that's a write-off, and he's going to get that back in the next couple of minutes. Let's watch a little bit more. Right.
So for me, it's a lot easier than it is for most people. FYI, it's getting ready to drop. And so it's just, I don't really stress about the losses as much.
So you just said something there though that actually kicked in and piqued an interest. You just said FYI, it's getting ready to drop. Do you do, are most of your trades buys, or will you foresee a sell as well and take it in that direction?
Doesn't matter to me.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't do any mark charts. I don't do any lookup. I don't look at any stocks. I don't find the ticker tape. The only thing I do is my computer opens up and goes, Forex Factory is the first tab. The next one is what's the 15-minute doing on the overview, and then my third chart has the 135. And if the 15-minute is going up, I'm looking for buys. If the 15-minute is going down, I'm looking for sells.
Right.
And I basically have had some amazing teachers. You've met some incredible teachers. Nick and Anastasia are phenomenal. Anastasia's point of control and volume is mind-bogglingly brilliant. Nick, he can just get in there and he's got it.
Right. I haven't been as much with Anastasia, but with Nick, what I find, especially for you having just wrapped up your first year, me year number 2, he has an amazing ability to dumb it down to us who are still on a lower learning level than what he's at as a performance on a performance level. And then he can kick it when one of the more advanced students asks a question, he's right back up to that level. And he comes back down to us immediately after. And I think that's so key for retention. Something that, now that you're teaching as well, I found to be key that the best teachers can bring it to you.
Yeah. And you've got, Lee Allen was amazing. Kathy, they're just all incredible teachers. Cobain in crypto is an amazing. I learned more about the way the Fibonacci works from Cobain probably than anybody, and I don't trade crypto at all.
The reason why I asked you about the buy and the sell is that there are still some of the educators, especially in the cryptos, who, when they would call a trade, again, only for educational purposes for them, they would only say when, say, Bitcoin is about to jump, and they would only call that buy. And they say that's because they're trying to remain positive. And like any good trader can trade in any direction in the market. Yeah. And that Bitcoin may be going down isn't necessarily a bad thing, because like it has been over the past year or so, it's provided opportunities for all of us to get back in on long-term owning of Bitcoin and ETH and whatever else. But I'm just real glad to hear you say that you're calling trades on your own in both directions. So
So literally, this is, I turn on my computer, click, there's Google, Forex Factory Lake, there's news at 2. Um, my favorite trade windows are 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then I wait and check it. I'll look at it at 10 to see if it's stabilized. And then I usually check 8, 10, 12, 2.
yeah, I remember you saying
And
2 in
I'll
the
look,
afternoon was another one.
and it's just, but like at 8:57, if the perfect trade is setting up, I don't take it. Because if it's either I'm done, and at 9 o'clock I'm done trading. Because I can get into the whole like over trade. Let's see what we can do, and it's very easy. The biggest thing is learning your own rules.
Right.
I tell people the indicator will protect you from the market. The rules protect you from yourself.
That makes sense. That's perfect sense. I think that's going to be a quote that's going to
After an
show up.
after an hour, I start to be like, oh, I think I've got this figured out, and then I start losing.
Yeah.
And then because
And
I'm
is that
usually
the is
done,
that the greed or is that the lack of patience?
patience.
And patience is what we'll need to hear the rest of that on Wednesday. Dr. Michael Donaldson, wake trader. Really excited interview. Definitely was glad to have him on the show. Definitely will be back in the very near future. Let's take a look at, let's get rid of that. There we go. Let's take a look at cryptos for today. They were, as of about 5:10, so about 30 minutes ago, but we had a really good interview in that time. So not too much change since last week, and that's consistent with what some of our other guests that have been on had said, that you're not going to see a lot really over the next remainder of the 2022 calendar year. Bitcoin right now at 19,564, ETH at 1,321 and 68 cents, Solana $33.517, XRP 46 cents and change, Doge 6 cents and change, and Cardano 42 cents and change. And like I said earlier, not much change since Wednesday was our last show. I think, or maybe we did one Thursday. We skipped out on Fridays. But yeah, not much change over the weekend and into today. For the majors, USD JPY 144.51, Euro USD 98 cents and change, British Pound USD 113 and change, British Pound JPY 163.66, USD CAD 136 and change, and the Aussie dollar 65 cents and change. Also, little movement there except for JPY. Some significant losses on the yen. To the indices, the Nasdaq 11,255, the S&P 500 is at 3683, the US 30 that Dr. Mike talked about is at 29,507, and the Dow Jones at 29,490, all of which have been down since last week. Get rid of that. Let's go back to our overlays. Actually, let's go to that one. There we go. For more on Dr. Mike and the whole series of other traders that we have, to include a lot of members of his team and some other people that we've been talking with, anywhere you want to be, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, TikTok. Give us some time on TikTok, but we do have an account there. We'll get it running. And, of course, LinkedIn. You can see us, the video, this show every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 11 p.m. Central European time, 5 p.m. Today we were a little late to do this prep and get some of the interview put together, but 5 p.m. on the East Coast of the U.S., 2 p.m. on the West Coast. And once you find us anywhere, make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, and turn the notifications on. Definitely share, help us build this community. LinkedIn has only allowed video for about a month or so now. We've got a page there. We're halfway to the minimum of 150 subscribers on it. we're getting them organically. We're not doing advertising. You folks are sharing this information with your contacts on LinkedIn, as well as the rest of our social media. And as a result, the activity on it is genuine. It's a high percentage of our members, and that's what's key to be better placed throughout any algorithms that the social media platforms are using right now. So please continue to share any information about the Doggy Traders. One thing is, when you search it, just look for that logo right there. Look for that coin that we put together. The S on the end is actually an S, not a dollar sign. We left the dollar sign on this overlay just because it looks pretty cool, but it looks stupid on the actual username or call sign. That is everything, gang. Great show today. Really enjoying that interview with Dr. Mike. And we'll see you back to the proper time, 11 p.m. sharp in Central Europe, 5 p.m. on the East Coast here in the States, 2 p.m. on the West Coast. Until then, trade crazy, but trade safe. We'll see you Wednesday.